Hello, grandkids. It's Mema for Stories with Mema. And I found a very old book. This is an old story called The Little Red Hen. And this is a vintage book. Look at the illustrations are even showing to be a vintage illustrations. Very old. This was first published in 1957, long time ago, but The Little Red Hen is a very good story. So I wanted to share this with you because I remember reading this when I was a little girl. There once lived a big barnyard. A little red hen and her brood, which are baby chicks, and her brood of fluffy little chicks. Her neighbors were a pig and a duck and a goose. One day, the little red hen found a few grains of wheat scattered on the ground. Cluck, cluck, called Little Red Hen, and all her little chicks came running. There's her neighbors. There's the wheat and her little chicks. The duck and the goose came running as well, thinking the little red hen had found something to eat. And soon the pig ambled up too. Cluck, cluck, said the little red hen. Just look at these grains of wheat I have found. Now who will help me plant them? Not I, quacked the duck. Nor I, honked the goose. Nor I, oinked the pig. They didn't want to help plant the wheat. I will plant the wheat myself then, said the little red hen, and she set to work. The rain fell and the sun shone, and by all the little grains of wheat sprouted and pushed their bright green blades up through the earth. She's making a garden, huh? Yeah. The little red hen kept a close watch on the grains as they grew. When at last the green blades began bursting with gold, meaning the wheat kernels, she was very pleased indeed. The wheat is ripe, she sang as she ran about the barnyard. Now who will help me cut it? Not I, quacked the duck. Nor I, honked the goose. Nor I, oinked the pig from his bed in the shade. They don't want to do any of the work. Then I will cut it myself, declared the little red hen, and she hurried into the barn for a sickle. This is a sickle. It's like a special knife that cuts down the wheat. She worked long and hard that day cutting the golden wheat. The chicks, her little chicks are trying to help, aren't they? Who will help me thresh the wheat? She called out one morning bright and early. Not I, quacked the duck. Nor I, honked the goose. Nor I, oinked the pig. Dear me, then I guess I shall have to thresh it myself, said the little red hen, and into the barn she ran to find a flail. With the flail, she beat all the golden grains from the ears. That's how you separate the grain kernels from the rest of the plant. Now, she said bright and early the next morning, the wheat has been planted and cut and threshed. Who will help me carry it to the mill? Not I, quacked the duck. Nor I, honked the goose. Nor I, oinked the pig. The mill is where the wheat is ground into a fine flour. Well, in that case, said the little red hen, I will carry it to the mill myself. And away she ran into the barn to get a sack to carry the wheat in. She filled the sack with the wheat and threw it over her back. Then away she went toward the mill to have the wheat ground into flour. When she had reached the barnyard once more, the little wren had called, the wheat is now soft white flour. Who will help me bake the bread? Not I, quacked the duck. Nor I, honked the goose. Nor I, oinked the pig. Then I will bake it myself, said the little red hen. Ooh, look at her kitchen. Look at the bread she's making. Mmm. When at last the bread was baked and came out of the oven in fine big loaves, she set it carefully aside to cool and stepped to the door of her little house. Cluck, cluck, the little red hen called, and all her little chicks came running. The duck, the goose, and the pig came running too. They came running. Now who will help me eat the bread? Said the little red hen. I will, quacked the duck. I will too, honked the hungry goose. And I, squealed the pig. You remember that I planted the wheat and cut it and threshed it and carried it to the mill. I made the bread and baked it. And now all of you would help me eat it? No, indeed. And the little red hen called all her chicks into the house and shut the door tight. Oh dear, quacked the duck. Why did I not help the little red hen? Then I should have had fine white bread too. That's right. What a lazy dunce I have been, hissed the goose to herself. Oink, oink, grunted the pig sadly. A little work and a little less sleep wouldn't have hurt me any. But the little red hen, who had worked so hard, was happy, and she sung as she cut thick slices of fresh bread and spread them with butter and jam for her hungry chicks. And that's the end. Isn't that a good lesson for us all? We need to do some work for the things that we want to have. Huh? They don't just come to us whenever we want them without doing any work. So it's really good to help moms and dads around the house doing some chores because they give us food to eat, huh? They give you food to eat. They give you the things that you need and even things that you want. So it's very good to be helpful. All right, grandkids, I love you very much. I love you. A bushel and a peck, a bushel and a peck, and a hug around the neck. I'll read you later. Mwah.